All right. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. We are Far Side of the Pod. My name is Jordan. We got Ridge,
Yeah.
and we got Caleb. All right, let's get into this week's episode. First off, we want to start off by thanking CreepyCon for allowing us to come out last week. We didn't get much. I mean, we got to walk through, and we was going to get interviews, but with the rain and the traffic and everything, it just really socially took it out of me, at least. And we just decided to do our walk around. We did get to meet Kane Hodder, and we did meet up with Horror Green Book, so it was cool seeing him. And we met up with some not met up, but we Caleb per se.
Yeah.
He got some shirts from a booth. They had some
Mm-hmm.
really cool shirts, and we said that we would shout them out. And I believe their name was Gamed Arts. If
Yeah,
I
something like that.
if I get it if I
I
get it
could look at the
wrong,
thing again.
if I get it wrong, I sincerely apologize. But either way, we appreciate y'all, and we know y'all followed us on Instagram, so hopefully y'all do get the chance to hear your shout out. All right, y'all got
Oh,
anything?
also yeah, I was gonna say also make sure you go check out the Horror Green Books walkthrough. It's already on YouTube. I watched a little bit of it last night. It's a really good walkthrough.
Yeah, no. All right, Ridge. Ridge, do you got anything from the con you want to say?
I had a really fun time getting to walk around and see all the cool stuff that was set up at the different booths and getting to see all the other haunts that were also there. It was really cool seeing them. So thank you, CrewCon, for having this out to y'all's event once again. Hopefully we can do it again sometime soon.
All right. All right, Caleb. How about yourself?
Oh yeah, it was a great time. We had it was a lot of good booths out there. There was a good crowd of people. Everyone seemed to be having good fun. Good fun. The T-shirts I bought were really awesome. They weren't horror related, but I'm a video game nerd and I can't help it. So when I see something and I impulse buy, I impulse buy. So, but yeah, it was a really good time. Great walkthrough. I wish we could have had more time, but the rain and everything, it just made everything kind of miserable for some aspects of it. But other than that, great time. Yeah, it was good that we got to catch up with our good buddy while we were there for a minute, and everybody should go check it out again next year. Meet Kane Hodder, cool guy. Good, it was a good time. I'm glad we got to meet him when we did because we were the very last group.
At least for that moment before he went into his photo ops, probably.
Yeah, right before. Well, yeah, they were getting ready to put him into full get up because it was supposed to be like one something when he did it.
Yeah, so luckily we caught him right as he was going to it. So, but yeah, we had a great time. CreepyCon, as always, it was a good event. They always have great ambiance. I love what they do, where they like half of the place is dark because they got all the haunt stuff, and they have like the place where they do like the scream contest and the costume contest and everything. So it was really cool to see a lot of the stuff there, and it's always a good time to go into these crowds of people. It's just a bunch of weirdos just having a good time, and nobody judges you for what you like, what you wear, what you dress up as. Everybody just has a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's always a good time. And it's always cool to get cool things, whether it's VCR tapes and shirts like me and
Mhm.
Caleb, or
Yep.
whether it's you just buying whatever you want to when you're there. So, but yeah, we appreciate CreepyCon. We hope to be there next year. And yeah, on to the regular scheduled podcast. All right, so first off, it's the first time in a long time that we get to talk about this. We are going to get to talk about some football. Now, if you regularly listen to
Mm.
us, we do talk about football when it's football season. So from August through February, pretty much, we talk about football. And it's for pretty much always the first of the podcast. So if it's not your thing, we apologize, but it's our thing. So, and it's our podcast, so we're going to talk about it.
Get over it.
So, Ridge, you had this plan that we was gonna do something, so I'll let you take the floor, my boy.
Yeah, so I figured it'd be fun for the next little bit until football season rolls around here, and even if we don't get all the way through it while football season starts, we can at least, talk about during the start of it. All right. And that is, I want to go through every team in the SEC and predict their win loss total and like their whole schedule. And I got 4 teams for us to start with for tonight. So y'all ready to get into this?
Let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to start off with Alabama. All right. Alabama week 1. Their first opponent is ECU.
That should be a win.
That should be a win.
That's an easy dub. Across the book for all of us, okay? So that's 1-0. All right, the next week on I don't know what
Their next
exactly the schedule. Okay, the next game, it's on the 12th, is against Kentucky.
I'm sure that they'll
At Kentucky.
You say Kentucky?
Yep, it's at Kentucky.
At Kentucky, okay. I still think Bama probably pulling it out. What do you think,
Caleb?
Yeah, probably.
It's a dub for me. There's not that many on here that are going to be considered losses.
You're right.
For Alabama. All right, it's Alabama.
Hmm.
All right, on the 19th, they're at home versus Florida State. Easy dub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably if the telltales over the last couple of seasons, it'll be easy dub.
FSU ain't that team. I think that their head coach is on the hot seat again this year.
Yeah.
And if he just has another terrible season, he'll be fired this year for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all in agreement that that's another dub.
Yeah.
All right. After that, the 26th, they face off. They go back into their SEC against SEC teams, and it's all the way through all SEC teams now. They have South Carolina at home.
See, these are 2 teams that both coaches are pretty much on the hot seat, I believe. But if the key thing is, and I know that y'all probably have different opinions, but the key thing for South Carolina this year is if Lenore Sellers actually plays good. Like, he had an off season last year. So if Lenore Sellers comes in and plays like people expect him to, I could see it being close, but I still see Bama at least inching it out. Okay,
I see this as another easy dub.
You think so?
100%.
Like I said, I still think Bama will win, but it's all depicting on if Lenore Sellers plays like Lenore Sellers is originally supposed to play.
I think he could play good, but and it could be a close game, but I still see this in favor of Bama.
Yeah, of course. All right, Caleb.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see this in favor of Bama. Honestly, I think South Carolina will put up a fight. It may be a close game, but I think Bama's probably going to walk away with that win ultimately.
All
right. So moving on into October on the 3rd, they travel to Mississippi State.
That should be an easy win.
Caleb?
Yeah. Easy win.
Well, we're all still in agreement. This is still easy stuff with Bama. I mean, it's Bama for crying out loud. Yeah, it's another win. All right. Then on the 10th, they face off at home against Georgia.
That's where they'll get their first L, probably.
That's a good possibility.
I think
I got that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, of course, Georgia is Georgia, but Bama is Bama. There could be a good game, but I still think Georgia could get under him, because didn't Bama beat Georgia in the playoffs last year, or was that the opposite way?
I don't remember.
Either way, I still think Georgia would probably beat him.
To me, that's their first loss as well. Caleb, what you got?
I think, yeah, they're probably going to lose that one also because I mean Georgia, they're still doing pretty good, and Alabama, they're okay. You know, they're Alabama, but they haven't been the Alabama that we know, and so I think Georgia's probably going to beat them this year too.
All right. So we're still all in agreement,
Yeah.
except for this next game. I think this is where it might get a little controversial. I don't know. On October 17th,
Yep.
they travel to Neyland to face off against Tennessee.
All right. Here's my thing. The last 2 games that they played in Neyland, they've lost. And I'm not purely going off of that, because both times that they came into Neyland and lost, we had Hooker, then we had Nico. This time we still don't know who our starting quarterback is. We don't know if it'll be Faison or GMAC. I have high hopes it's going to be Faison. I think if we come in with Faison, or I mean, just whoever is our quarterback, not purely saying Faison, but whoever our quarterback is starting, we come in and say we're hot just like they are at the moment. We probably come in with, not having a loss yet, probably, maybe, hopefully. I still think if we have it, it's like the same with the year when Milton and Hooker was going back and forth. If we came in with a hot quarterback that's just, like, we 100% our starter, we could beat them. But if it's back and forth with the quarterbacks, I think that could take us out. So I think we'll win it, but it'll be a close game, of course. And that's not being biased. That's just me being for real.
Caleb, what are your thoughts?
Hang on, sorry, you cut out. I could barely hear y'all.
It's Bama versus Tennessee. It's at Tennessee.
Okay.
Well,
I'm a Vol, and I'm going to have faith my Vols are going to beat them, and I'm going to have to. But same time, knowing the realistic situation that we're kind of in here, it's. I'm going to have to say. I'm gonna have to say that I want Tennessee to win, but I have a bad feeling that Bama's probably gonna end up walking all over us.
Interesting.
I just have this I just got this bad feeling, and I don't want to be right.
Like I said, I don't know if you heard Caleb. I said if we come in with a 100% quarterback, like, we're not still going back and forth between Faison and GMAC. If we have a quarterback that's got some, what would you say? He's got confidence. Like, if we have a quarterback that comes in that's confident, we'll be like, it'll be a closer match. And I think we could inch it out if we have a confident quarterback. But it really depends.
Well, for me, the only way that Tennessee walks away with a win is if not only is our quarterback confident, but tactical.
Yeah.
And protected. Yeah. For the love of God, protected.
Sure.
That has been a problem. So, as I say, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah.
Well, I guess I'll be the X factor on this one as well. Listen, to me, I think that Tennessee has, as of right now, at least, too many question marks for this game. The bonus side for them is that it's at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. That's a plus side for Tennessee. Yeah. But I think that there are too many question marks right now, and with that being said, I'm taking Bama to win this game.
Here's the thing, and I'm not
It's
arguing
going to be a close game, but I think it's going to be Bama's.
because I think Bama's got a lot of question marks right now too because they don't have their quarterback's new, like they have a new quarterback and everything, so it's I think it really depends on how we go into the game. It'll be a week by week situation until we get to that point, in my opinion.
Either way, I think it's safe to say on this game that it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, who is it that Tennessee plays before playing Alabama?
We'll get to that.
That's really what's going to be the deciding factor there.
Because if I'm not wrong, I think we played Texas before we played Bama.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We played we played Texas. No, we played Arkansas the week before Bama.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So really,
No, I think we go. I think we can walk away realistically with a win on that one.
realistically, if we get our number back from Arkansas, I think we can get him. But it's like I said, it's a week by week thing.
Yep.
All right, what next, Reed?
All right. So after that, on the 24th, Bama's back home against Texas A&M.
I think Texas A&M will beat them.
Really?
Yeah.
Texas A&M is looking to be a really good team this year. Like a really good team.
They got some heft behind them, that's for sure.
And Texas A&M, whenever they're good, they seem to always have Bama's number. Whether it's a field goal, whether it's a touchdown, I still think there's a possibility that Texas A&M will have Alabama's number.
Someone is definitely bound to have their number this year, and A&M may be the more realistic one, besides Georgia.
What do you think?
Well, I guess I'm opposite again. I think, again, you're looking at another close game, and it's going to be a hard-fought game, and it's just the fact that it's at home for Bama. I'm giving Bama the win here.
Understandable. Like I said, it can be either way. It can be either way.
I think you're looking at probably a one possession game.
Oh, yeah,
to be a difference in the...
Yeah, I mean it could either be a blowout or a one possession game. There's really no in between there.
Yeah, that's why I said the whole like it could be a field goal, it could be a touchdown thing.
Okay. After that, in November, they are traveling on the road to LSU.
I think this is another like week by week situation because we don't know how good LSU will be this year or not. One new coach in Lane Kiffin, new quarterback Sam Leavitt. If LSU comes in strong, I think LSU will get it. But if they come in not on their high horse, I don't think they'll win. I think Bama will get them.
So who you think's got this game then?
As well, I said if LSU comes in hot, I think LSU will win. But if they don't come in hot, I think Bama will win.
Well, we're not splitting them. We're predicting them here. Who are you going to take as of right now?
As of right now, I'll say Bama because I don't think LSU will be as good as people hope they'll be.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Bama's going to beat LSU. Just because this is going to be one of those, I feel like this is just going to be how it starts for Lane Kiffin that year.
Golly. Why am I so different from y'all on this? This is like one of those schedules that I didn't think I was going to be different from y'all on, but apparently I am. to me, listen, they're going into Baton Rouge. More than likely, this is going to be a night game. And Baton Rouge in the nighttime, always a difficult place to play.
Right.
Also, this is coming off this is happening right after they just got done playing against Texas A&M.
True.
At home. I think this is their second loss.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a trap game, and I think this will be their second loss.
All right. I mean, it makes sense. I'm not, I don't disagree.
All right. Well, let's finish out this thing because to me, the last three games should be easy to decipher through. Who knows, though? Maybe the last one's not as easy as what I'm expecting. But on November 14th, they go to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Bama should win it.
Yep.
All right, good. We're all in agreement that Bama should win against Vanderbilt at home or in Vanderbilt. So, if there are any Vandy fans listening, sorry. I don't think y'all are going to be that great this year.
Not really, baby brother. I don't care.
I mean, to be fair, they'll be an interesting team again. I think it'll be interesting to see what this quarterback that they got in.
I was about to say they got a 5-star quarterback coming in, so
like the first time they've ever had a 5-star recruit for a quarterback come in like this. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting, but I don't think it will be the same Vanderbilt team that we had last year.
Absolutely not.
So that's Bama's win. All right. Then after that, on the 21st, they will be back home against UTC.
That's the easiest dub of the season.
Caleb?
Yeah, dub. Easy.
So we're also all in agreement on that it's going to be a dub. It should be a blowout. If I had to imagine, it's going to be like something around like 68 to maybe 10.
Probably.
If I had to wild guess the score for that game, maybe. So yeah, that's easy money dub for Bama. All right, and then to finish out their season, they will be playing at home against Auburn.
Oh, that's well. I mean,
I think that one will be a week by week one. It depends on how good Auburn is this year.
I mean, you remember that? I'll never forget watching that game.
You're talking about the kicks,
Alabama. Oh yeah, I'll never forget that. That's what makes me hesitate to say Auburn would lose against them.
Like I said, it'll be a week by week, but I still think if Bama will be as decent and back to form as we think they'll be, I think Bama will get it.
I'm gonna go with Auburn just because I want to be different.
Of course you do. Of course you want to be different. Why wouldn't you? So real quick for you guys, that will make what? Jordan, you got Bama sitting at what? 10-2 or 9-3?
Yeah.
That's not an answer.
Well, ask the question again, damn it.
Do you have them? So their total record for this season is it 9-3 or 10-2?
I could see 9-3.
Caleb?
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's
so
fair.
Y'all are both going with 9-3.
Yeah.
That seems about right.
Well, hot dog in water, because I got this game as Bama's win right here, and I got them sitting at 10-2
Okay.
with that being
Yeah.
their last win. I think. Listen, I'm going to be a bully against Auburn this year. I've heard them talking way too much smack towards Florida, all for wrong reasons. So I'm bullying the crap out of them this year. So that's going to be a loss for Auburn. I don't think that. I think that with Alex Golish being their head coach, this is things that all the SEC teams have already seen. Don't get me wrong, Auburn will have some good games, but we'll get to that here next. So for me, though, I got Bama sitting at 10-2, giving them a chance to make a run in the playoffs, more than likely. So onward we go to the next team, and we'll just stick in Alabama with Auburn, as their first game is against Baylor.
I think that's really if Baylor is good this year, Baylor could have that number, but I think Auburn will pull it.
Yeah. I'll go with Auburn on that one.
Okay, well, we're in agreement so far. I think that will be Auburn's game. Listen, to me, that was kind of tough because I could see Baylor just being that random team to be on the lookout for being a sleeper team, somehow making it into the playoffs. This will be one of those that's a close game, but it's Auburn's win right there to get them started. All right, so the next weekend after that, they face off against USM.
That should be Auburn.
Yeah, it should be Auburn.
That's Auburn all the way. If I'm not mistaken, that's like Southern Mississippi or something.
Yeah.
One of the cupcake schools. So, okay, we're still all in agreement. All right, the next game, their third game, going into SEC play for almost the rest of the year, except for one more game, and that's their second to last game. Their next game on the 19th will be against Florida at home.
I'm going Florida.
Yeah, I'm going Florida.
All right, good. We're all in agreement. That'll be Florida dub and Auburn's first loss on the year. After that, on the 26th, they play against Vanderbilt.
I think Vandy will have their number.
You think Vandy will have their number?
Yeah,
Golly.
I do think so. But like I said, if Auburn comes off being as good as they think they are, Auburn probably, but I still think Vandy can pull it up. Because I don't think Vandy's going to drop. I just don't think they'll be as good as they was last year.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is where I'll be nice to Auburn slightly. I think this is Auburn's game.
Okay.
I think that we're looking at, like I said, I think this is a Vanderbilt team that looks close to what they used to look like. As in, they're not going to win that much. They'll win some, but like I said, not much. So to me, this is an Auburn win. All right. Moving on to their next game. It's going to be a away game for them against Tennessee.
I'm going Tennessee. There's no doubt.
Tennessee.
Okay, well, we're all in agreement on that. Good. Yeah, no, that's obviously, I think, Tennessee's game. This is a head coach that coached underneath Heupel So I think Heupel will know everything that he's going to try to pull out of his hat and be able to just counter it pretty easily and be able to. I wouldn't say that he'll dog walk them, but
No, I don't think it'll be a dog walk, but I think it'll at least be a 2-score game.
right. I'm thinking about 2 or 3 probably.
Yeah.
All right. After that, in October, the first game of October will be another away game as they face off against Georgia.
Georgia's beating
Georgia's beating the hell out of them.
We're all in agreement there. It's Georgia will beat them. So moving on, they come back home to face off against LSU.
LSU's got them.
Caleb?
Yeah, I'm gonna say LSU's got them as well.
Well, good. We're still all in agreement. That is going to be LSU's game to win right there, and Auburn's going to take another loss. All right. Then to end the month of October for them, they are going away to play against Ole Miss.
Ooh,
Ole Miss will smack them.
how about it?
No, look. LSU. I mean, Ole Miss almost went to the national championship last year.
Yeah,
I think, and they got Trinidad Chambliss back, and that kid is a demon.
but you got to remember there has been some denigration there lately because of everything that's went down.
But the thing is Ole Miss started playing better after Kiffin
Yeah,
left.
and that I hope they do out of spite towards him. I do hope that, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. So
I just personally think Ole Miss has a run and being one of the best teams this coming up season.
I'm going to say Auburn by a field goal. I'm going to say it's a miracle.
Golly. Well, Slater, I guess we're in agreement on that game. I think this will be an Ole Miss win at home. I think they'll be looking good. This is a little past mid-season. I think that they'll have their legs underneath them a little bit better, so I'm giving this win to Ole Miss.
Hottie Toddy takes over the War Eagle.
All right. Moving on into November, they play at they're back home against Arkansas.
I think they beat Arkansas.
This one's it depends on.
It's a close one, but
it depends on how Arkansas plays. But I'll just go ahead and say Auburn.
Yeah, this is a win for Auburn on my end as well. But like y'all said, I think this will be a close game, but this will be Auburn's.
Yeah.
Then on the 14th, they go away again to Mississippi State.
They should win that one.
Caleb, what you got?
Auburn.
All right, we're all in agreement, so that is going to be Auburn's win. All right, then on the 21st, they come back home to play against Samford, I think it is. That's their next cupcake game. So that's a win.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Caleb?
Yeah, I'm also going to say the same.
All right, we're all in agreement on that one. All right, and then to finish out their season, of course, they go to Alabama.
And Alabama will beat them.
And Caleb says that Bama will lose that one.
Very close one. I think it'll be very close because I can't count out Auburn because I watched it happen myself. So
what does that have you at for that one, Caleb?
I think
that's 5 losses.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, so it would be
8 and 5.
It's 8 and 5, I think. Yeah,
is that right?
I think so. No, it's not. No, it'd be 7 and 5. No.
Yeah, because
yeah,
8-4
75. Yeah, I
is.
came 9-3. Yeah, you're right. 75. You're right. Sorry, my math was really bad right there.
And Slater, you are having them at 6-6, correct?
Yep.
Well, good, because that's where I'm at too. Is that is a 6-6 schedule for them. Like I said, I'm bullying them a little bit here. They could be better than that for all we know, but it it's a the issue with me, other than them talking smack, is this is Alex Golish pulling everyone from where he was at with what USF.
Yeah.
He pretty much brought that whole team with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my main argument on that. You're bringing your team from your lower down school up into SEC to play. It's not going to go over as well as what you'd think. So
Yeah, I mean,
They've got the possibility, but I don't think it'll go as smooth as they think.
all right. So with that one, we got 2 more schedules for this episode, and our next one is Arkansas. Arkansas, they start off against UNA,
Arkansas.
they'll be
North
UNA.
Alabama, right? I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, well that's an easy dub for them right there. Gotta be honest, I guess I'm a little bit more bullish with Arkansas. So sorry, Arkansas fans, but y'all ain't got that easy of a schedule neither.
Nope, they don't.
Because after that they have an away game against Utah.
Utah
Ooh,
will beat the snot out of
Utah will probably beat them. Yeah.
Glad we're all in agreement on that game. That is going to be their first loss. They are sitting at 1-1. Then after that, they come back home, but it don't matter because they're playing against Georgia,
them. Beating the snot out of them.
and that's another loss. Caleb,
Yeah,
you in agreement?
that's probably another loss right there.
All right. Well, after that, hey, I got a little bit of a bright side for them here. They're playing on the 26th against Tulsa.
Honestly, there's a possibility Tulsa could beat them.
Yeah, it'd be real close.
I think it'd be close, but probably Arkansas will pull it out.
I'm saying that's going to be Arkansas's second win. I think that, like y'all said, I think it'll be a close one, unfortunately, but I think that is their win right there. All right, then after that, getting in to October on the 3rd, they go away against Texas A&M.
Boy, the 12th man's going to walk y'all across Kyle Field.
Caleb, you in agreement?
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
All right, good. We're all in agreement on this. That's another loss for them. Then on the 10th of October, they come back home to face off against Tennessee.
Oh yeah, Tennessee.
Volunteers are going to whoop
Beat
them.
that butt.
That's another loss. All around the board because I'm in agreement. All right. This one we might not all be in agreement on just because it's this team and we don't really know, but I'm going to give Arkansas the benefit of the doubt and say this will be their next win. And it's against Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt.
I think Vandy will pull it out.
I was gonna say I think Vanderbilt might pull that one out actually.
Golly.
I feel like Tennessee as a state is just gonna dominate them this year.
I had to give them the benefit of the doubt somewhere.
You got to somewhere.
And like I said, I think that while, Vandy's going to look decent as far as how they play, I just don't see them being the same team or being a team that's pulling out a crap ton of dubs on these other schools.
Right.
So I'm going to give Arkansas the benefit of the doubt here
Okay.
and say that's a win. All right. To finish off October, they're back home against Mizzou.
They'll probably honestly, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on Mizzou.
Dude, freaking what?
Look, man, Mizzou is on my hot list. I don't like Mizzou. They're one of my least favorite teams.
Yeah. Caleb, what do you got, man?
I don't like Mizzou either, but I feel like Mizzou's probably going to win that.
So you're taking that as a loss for Arkansas against Mizzou.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess, Caleb, we're in agreement on this one to get Slater on it. I think that while, yeah, you might not like them, they're still a good team. I think that they'll look just as good as they did last year, maybe even better. And I'm going to say that this is an Arkansas loss right here.
All
right. So after that, heading into November on the 7th, they go away to face off against Auburn.
Yep, Auburn will win it.
Caleb, what did you say last time? I think you said that was going to be Auburn's.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be Auburn's.
All right. So I'm saying that that's Auburn's as well. All right. So moving on. This is also another benefit of the doubt I'm giving them on this one. They come back home on the 14th to play against South Carolina.
I think South Carolina's got them.
South Carolina, yeah.
Well, we are all in agreement on that. That is another. Wait, no, we're not. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, we're not in agreement at all. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt here. I'm saying that this one's going to be the close game that's somehow won by Arkansas.
Okay, I can respect that. I can respect that.
All right. And then they have an awful last two games right here for them. On the 21st of November, they play away against Texas.
Texas is whooping the snot out of them. Probably the worst loss they'll take of the year.
Yeah.
All right. And that, to me, that's a easy prediction, too, that is a loss. It's Texas, for crying out loud. And then they're back home for the end of the season against LSU.
Yeah, LSU's beating them.
And that gives you 9 losses.
Okay.
So that's what?
3
and 9. You got them at 3-9. Caleb?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm with you on that one, Anna.
That's going to be a loss.
Yeah.
Caleb, you got them. You got them feeling low. You got them at a 2-10, bud.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, it sounds bad and all, but it's
and
good chance.
I have them. Well, I guess it's not splitting the difference. I guess I'm being the benefit of the doubt for them a little bit. I got them at 4-8 on the season.
Either way, they're not going bowling this year. That's for sure.
No, they're not bowling off of that schedule. All right, and that brings us to the last team for this piece of predictions on schedules, and that is the Florida Gators.
Let's go.
All right. So for the Florida Gators, they open up their schedule against FAU at home.
That's a W.
Caleb?
Yeah, it's a dub.
That's an easy dub. Easy dub. They got 2 easy dubs, guys, because after that, they play against a team that I don't even know where the school is at. All I know is that their mascot is a camel. All right, it's C8. It's no joke. The initials for it is CAM as well.
Well, CAM can see their way out.
CAM, that's a camel. It's going to be another. It's going to be even more so dog walk for Florida versus this team. Caleb, I imagine you're in agreement.
Yes.
All right. After that, they take their first away game and the first SEC game of the season against Auburn.
Florida's walking them.
Caleb?
Yeah, Florida's walking them.
I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a walk that they get on them. The only reason why I say that is because this is going to be a game in Auburn and it's at nighttime. And Auburn's just one of those random teams sometimes. But I do think that this will be a win against Auburn. After that, on the 26th, they come back home against Ole Miss.
That'll be a hard game.
That'll be a really hard game, yeah. I'm going to have to say Ole Miss is probably going to walk away with that win.
Yeah, sorry, Ridge. I'm going to have to give the inch out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be the disagreeer on this one. The main reason why I'm going to say that this will be Florida's win is because Ole Miss, before they play this game, while we're playing against Auburn, they're going to be playing against LSU. They're going to get beat up and then come to the swamp to play this game. I think that it'll be a close game, but I think that this is Florida's for the win.
Like I said, I just think that Ole Miss is going to be one of the better teams this year. That's the only reason why I put them up.
All right. Heading into October, they travel away for the play against Mizzou.
Florida should win that one.
Caleb, what you got?
I think Florida's going to win that one too.
Again, I'm the difference on this one. I think that this will be where they get their first loss at. I think that they will go in facing off against a really good Mizzou team, and I think, especially after playing Ole Miss at home, I think it'll just take it out of them a little bit. I think this will be their first loss on the season. So, after that, on the 10th, they come back home to face off against South Carolina.
That's a W.
Caleb?
Yeah, I'm going to say that's a W.
I'm going to say that's a dub as well. I think, again, it's a South Carolina team that is going to be facing some major issues, and it's just going to be a hot season for the head coach of South Carolina. And this is another dub for them. After that, they got they have a gauntlet to go through on the next 3. But the next 2 are especially tough. And they go away on the 17th of October to face off against Texas.
Nope. Yep. I think that'll be a loss.
Yeah, that'll be a loss.
And I'm in agreement that that's going to be a loss. Unfortunately. And then to end the month of October, they are traveling to Atlanta to face off against Georgia.
Sadly, another loss, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement, so that's probably going to be another loss. I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, probably.
It's tough for me to say that will be a loss, but I'm going to look at this on the neutral side of it all, and I'm going to say that this will pretty much be a home game for Georgia since it's in Atlanta this year.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And that's going to play a big factor into it, so that's another loss. All right, starting their November time, they come back home to play against Oklahoma.
I think they'll beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think it'll be close, but I think they'll beat Oklahoma.
Well, I'm glad we're all in agreement on this. I figured that it's going to be some tough games, but I think it's just going to be a nice bounce back for them at home. I think that's going to be the major benefactor of that game too, and Florida's going to get the win there. On the 14th, they travel to Kentucky.
I think they'll beat the snot out of the fraud cats.
Yeah. I think we all can agree with that one.
Well, good, because that's another dub. After that, on the 21st, they're back home against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they should beat Vandy.
Caleb, what you got?
I think. He said Vandy?
Vandy. Back at home.
Oh, it's back at home? They'll probably beat Vanderbilt at home, yeah.
All right, well, we're in agreement on that, fellas. Well, we might actually be in agreement on their record even on this one, because their last game is a away game against FSU.
They're beating the snot out of FSU.
Yeah, they'll probably beat the shit out of them. Excuse my language. I had to make it very, very known that was probably going to be like.
You can use language somewhere, and this is a good time to use language, guys. I cannot believe it. We are in agreement on one team schedule, and that is the Florida Gators will be sitting at 9-3 because I also think that this is going to be a win.
A good bounce back season for the Gators.
It really will be. I'm hoping. I can also see that this will end up being an 8-4 season for them, but either way, it'll be a great bounce back from the only 4-8.
Yeah, What were y'all before? Sits and
4.
Then 4-8 the next season.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, I kind of saw coming. I didn't like that coach. I had something about him. I was like, I don't think he's going to be the guy.
No, I didn't like him neither. I gave him 3 years. I remember having this conversation whenever, like it was like his first season or second season as a coach. I said I gave him 3 years. And if he couldn't get it figured out then I want him out. Unfortunately, it took forever and a day to get to kicking him out, but we finally did. And now we're bringing in a pretty bad A type of guy. And I think that he's just going to do something good for this Florida team. And I think that this will be the start of Florida looking like their old selves.
Absolutely.
And I hope that they can pull off the 9-3 for this season because that'd be awesome. So, to recap, Bama, Slater, you got them sitting at 9-3. I got them at 10-2. Caleb, you also had them sitting at 9-3.
Yeah.
For Auburn, Slater, me and you had them sitting at 6-6. Caleb, you had them at 7-5.
Yep.
Arkansas is going to have a rough season. Possibly. Well, I think they have a new head coach, right?
I don't remember. I don't pay attention to Arkansas.
Me neither. I'm going to say that they do just to give them the benefit of the doubt for the reason they're going to be so terrible. Slater, you got them sitting at 3-9. I had them sitting at 4-8, and Caleb had them sitting at 2-10.
Ooh.
Woof. And then Florida, we all had them sitting at 9-3.
Heck yeah. Good stuff, fellas. Good stuff.
We're gonna have to come back to this at the end of the season and recap it.
That's why I'm writing it down as we talk about it. See how close we are.
Write it down, digitize it, and file it.
Yep.
All right. Are we good with football for the week?
We are good with football for the week.
We're just excited.
Heck yeah.
We're just excited for it. So listeners, be ready to hear about football for the next few months. All right. So next up on the list. So if y'all are into the movies of the year, Obsession was was one of the biggest movies of the year, and the main lead, Michael Johnston. Even though if you watch the movie, he's the worst character in the movie because he's a crappy person in the movie. Either way, great actor, and it looks like Michael Johnston is being looked at, or is going to be in The Mummy 4 with the returning Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Me and Rich kind of discussed it before the pod that we think that he could possibly be the son, but now that I think about The Mummy 3, the son was older or an adult in the third Mummy movie, so I think he could end up being the grandson of Brendan Fraser. It's going to be weird to say that, but I think so. But either way, great casting. I think he does give off Brendan Fraser vibes. I think he kind of looks like him in a way. What you guys think about it, Ridge? I'll start off with you.
Yep, like you said, it's either he's going to play the son or grandson. Honestly, whenever I look at him now, too, there's this weird thought of that he's going to end up being like a villain.
Look, like I said,
in this movie,
when he's Bear in Obsession, trust me, if you watch it, you'll hate him. You'll hate him. You'll hate him. So I mean, I can get it.
I mean, he's a young guy coming into this franchise. Maybe it's like there's just something about, this young guy coming in trying to say, I'm going to be better than you at doing this. And maybe he gets killed off real quick, too. Who knows?
Either that or, like, the spirit of the mummy or, like, whatever the being that they're going against will, like possess them or some style like that.
Yeah.
Caleb, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm interested. When I saw some stuff on, I hadn't seen everything, and I didn't know they'd, cast him. But I'm interested in the movie. I think it's going to be real good.
Just the fact that we're getting another Mummy with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz is the W of it all. So.
Yeah, that's what everybody was hoping for when he kind of, stepped back into the spotlight, and now we're finally going to get it.
I think Brendan Fraser himself said that if he could do any other sequel of his own movies, The Mummy was up there. So
yeah.
All right. So we got anything else to say about The Mummy 4 and Michael Johnston joining him?
This is probably the quickest topic we have tonight.
Look, man, it's that's not much to say on it.
After all the football we just talked, it's probably not hard to find a quicker topic.
Now, I'll probably be bringing Michael Johnston back up here in a couple segments, but on to the next one, and this is going to be a controversial topic, I believe. Caleb, if you ain't seen the movie, you're going to find some stuff out real quick.
What?
Sorry in advance.
And if you ain't, we're talking about Spiderman: Brand New Day.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, and
okay, good.
For our listeners who haven't seen it, you've had a week. It's y'all's fault. The embargo has lifted. The embargo has lifted. All right, Ridge, I'll let you say your point first.
Yeah, so listen, to me, I've heard from just about everybody that this is the best Spider-Man movie. And I think today, well, I've thought this for a while, but today I'm here to say that to me, this was not the best Spider-Man movie. I honestly preferred the first three over this one.
You mean the first three Tom
What?
Holland ones?
Yes, first three Tom Holland ones. Okay, let's make that very clear as well. So sorry if any confusion just happened. Compared to what we have in the MCU of Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, I think that the first three were better than this one. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of cool stuff that happened in this one. It was cool how they shot certain scenes of Spider-Man fighting, the scenes of, him web slinging or flying through the air, whatever you want to say. They did some really cool stuff. The suit was really cool. I loved how you could see his eyes at certain points through the mask. It's just something completely different that we had never seen before. But there were certain parts that felt like they was rushed over too quick. It seemed like there were certain characters that felt like they should have had a lot longer with. Like, for example, Tombstone and Scorpion. I think that those two characters should have had a lot more screen time than what they did. I think that they misused Scorpion in this movie. I think he could have been an overarching villain for the whole thing. Also, my hot take for this movie, and the very controversial part, more or less for me, is I think that this movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, would have done a lot better without Jean Grey in it.
Honestly,
Don't get me wrong.
Honestly, I can agree with you on that.
Don't get me wrong. It's cool to have her in the MCU. But I don't think that this was a movie that you put her in. What movie? I don't know. But this wasn't it for me. I think that instead, if you wanted to go down a rabbit or down a path like a Jean Grey or something of someone that can get into people's minds, I think you do Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
Mr. Negative could have been the one that broke the Hulk out. Also, that's another side topic of I think that the Hulk, while it's cool to see him Hulk out again, kind of got nerfed. I think that you could have used him for pretty much all the exact same reasons that you use Jean Grey almost, except for the whole damage control and VMAX business. I think you could have went without all that, and you could, like I said, you could just use Mr. Negative instead of Jean Grey for this. And I think you could have told a way better story where Mr. Negative's the main bad guy, but at the same time, he also has working with him Tombstone and Scorpion. And maybe you show Jean Grey at the end in like the after credit scene. Or have a post credit scene where she's, I don't know, just one of the oddball characters for some reason. But I think that, like I said, the main thing is I think you shouldn't have had Jean Grey in the movie. And it would have made a better movie without her.
All right. I mean, I understand it. Like, yeah, I get it. Caleb, I'll let you go ahead and say your part on the movie before I get to mine.
So, love the movie. Great movie. Greatest Spider-Man movie? Probably not the greatest one. For me, because I'm nostalgic, to me, it's still No Way Home. But this movie was really good. I see what, Ridge is talking about with Jean Grey, but, to see her manipulate MJ the way that she did, or manipulate Peter using MJ.
Yeah, that scene was nuts.
That I mean, like that was a
I
rough,
think
and
you could. I think you could have done that with Mister
Yeah,
Negative,
you
I
though.
could
mean,
you could have.
I get, yeah, he could, and I get where your point is there, but I don't, I see why they also picked her because obviously they want to do something with her in the future as Jean Grey, obviously. So, but I mean, and I get what you mean by Scorpion and Tombstone not being used as much. I totally agree. They could have been used. They could have had. There could have been a little more depth, shown about them, but maybe it was like pressed for time kind of thing. Like they were, I don't know, maybe they had to make some cuts because they didn't want it to
Overlap too much.
overlap on. Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. So I get it, but still love the movie. It's definitely one of those movies that like makes you really feel,
Definitely.
because I mean it just takes you through the whole motions of everything, and that. But there are cool, little things here and there. So I mean, for me, if I was to grade it out of a 10, I would give it like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10, somewhere in that range. It's a really good movie.
All right. All right. So hold on, Brittany. All right. So here's my breakdown. I I feel like I probably like this movie a little bit more than both of y'all, but it's not. It's just for the meaning of the story, and it's like Peter's story in this movie. The he's been alone all this time now. The only people know him by Spider-Man at this point, and he's alone. He's depressed. He's going through a lot, and he's it even shows that he's so afraid to even get close to somebody. The part when he's coming back with his laundry or with his groceries or something like that, and the girl like makes a forward advance to him, and he literally moves rooms to get away from her and get off the same floor as she is.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just the how depressed he was and the emotions
Hmm.
that he went through. And honestly, with the stuff I've been through over the last year and a half, it really resonated with me. Just because of the emotions that I've personally felt, and the scene where he is after the party, and he's swinging through the city in his regular clothes. He's crying while he's swinging, and there's a part where he's remembering all their memories, all the times that he had with them, and he's borderline suicidal in that scene. Like when he's falling backwards towards the ground, and flips over and starts swinging again. It's just like it just, to me, you could feel the sadness that he's feeling in that scene. And like you said, Caleb, the scene where Gene manipulates MJ, and that whole scene where he thinks MJ remembers him, and he's crying, he's thinking,
Hmm.
like he's pleading and almost yearning and thinking at borderline thinking God for the moment. Then Gene just switches on him,
Yep.
and
Very, very messed up.
but and also getting to see the parts where he like starts losing control of the arachnid side of him, like how when he would just start beating us, like when he beats the snot out of Scorpion, and does the whole where he jumps up in the air and pulls himself back down, like very Spider-Man PS5 type stuff. And
Yeah.
um but I think I'm with Ridge. I think that this movie would have been like I mean, like I said, I love it. I give it a good 8.59 out of 10. um but I think it would have been just as good, if not better, without Jean Grey. Because my point with the Jean Grey part is when Professor X finds Jean Grey, she's a little kid. Like, she's literally a little kid when she gets brought into the school. And I think them changing that story is a little weird for me, just because it like in any iteration, Jean Grey finds the X Men when she's a little kid. Like she's brought up into the school, so that's That'll be a weird playoff. That's probably my only argument with that reasoning. And I'm with Ridge on the Mr. Negative side, but my argument against that is if you have Mr. Negative in it, you have to have Miles Morales in it.
Yep.
At least bringing in Miles. Like, he's not Spider-Man yet.
I don't think you have to because it. I mean, for all, which one was it? Just the third? No, see the third one, or the second one, where we had already gotten introduced to Feast.
Right. No, it was the last one that we got introduced to Feast. No Way Home.
Okay, so we already got introduced to the place that Mister Negative oversees.
Right. No. Yeah. And
So I don't think you'd have to have Miles in it because if that was the case, we should have seen him in the third one.
Well, either way, I think that at least Jefferson Davis would have to been introduced. Miles' dad. Because if they go off the story of, say, the game, and I believe it happens in the comic books too, but I could be wrong, you know, something that Mr. Negative does ends up being the cause of death for Jefferson Davis.
Right.
And I think
that would
have to be a part in it, but
they could have brought up, they could have very well set up, they could have brought up the dad, or they could have shown us whatever Mr. Negative does that ends up killing his dad.
Yeah.
But maybe we don't even see his dad get killed. It's just a big thing that happens in general that eventually later on
it gets brought.
We find out, Miles's dad died because of him.
Right. And that was my only thing with that. But either way, I still think you're right on that part. Mr. Negative, the whole mind control thing would have been cooler if it was Mr. Negative, in my opinion. I do think the fights in it were absolutely great. The whole fight scene between Peter and the Hand in Damage Control was phenomenal. I mean, and it showing him, take over both sides of the arachnid and the human, and like when he hits that first hand person and they're flying towards something that's going to impale him and he webs him up to stop it, stuff like that. Just the intricate details on that. The crazy thing, and I do agree with the Hulk, though his part was great. It was great to see full Hulk again and not Banner Hulk, Smart Hulk fully, though we do see him, but I think that it was underplayed a little bit. I feel like it could have had a bigger part. And I know, when they was talking about doing the whole Man Spider thing, that it was going to be Hulk versus Man Spider at the end of it or something like that. And that would have been cool. But the thing that I think is the craziest out of this whole entire movie is, did y'all realize that Peter created the inhibitor?
Yeah.
And we're talking about the inhibitor that eventually starts to be used to control mutants.
Yep.
And pretty much causes the Holocaust of mutants.
Yep. So also, Spider-Man's going to be hated by some mutants and not by others.
And that part, I think is wild. I mean, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. It's wild to think that. And I also have to bring up, I think the dynamic between him and Punisher was great. I think, they had a great relationship in the movie. I love the whole, bickering back and forth. Remember that time on Staten Island? Oh, of course you're going to bring that up. Just all that whole thing. And I do think, and y'all can disagree or agree with me, I think the best part in the entire movie is the ending. And that's when, and like I said, guys, y'all have been spoiled at this point, so even more spoilers happening now. After Punisher shoots him, right? Which, he was going for Jean, but Peter protects her. I think the part where Punisher is like, I've got an idea. They had to cut your suit, so I have an idea. And Peter walks out in his civilian clothes, so people don't recognize it. And the whole part, Punisher up in the window wearing the mask and the gloves, being like, yeah. that part was super funny, but just the whole movie, he's so depressed and everything, and seeing how much Spider-Man means to those people. And that takes me back to the Tobey and the Andrew movies. You think about in Spider-Man 1 when Goblin and him are fighting at the Brooklyn Bridge. I think it's the Brooklyn Bridge, but they're fighting on that bridge, and the New Yorkers are throwing stuff at Goblin and says, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Talking about New Yorkers. Then, in the second Spider-Man movie, the whole subway scene where everybody was willing to step in front of Doc Ock to protect Peter and things like that. Then, going to the Amazing Spider-Man, and the Amazing Spider-Man, the crane workers moving the cranes so Peter can swing across the city. Then Amazing Spider-Man 2, the little kid at the end of the movie, believing in Spider-Man, stepping up to Rhino, and stuff like that. It was, to me, it was the most Spider-Man moment in the movie. Though we see the awesome web swinging and the awesome action and everything, it's just the heart of Spider-Man and what Spider-Man is supposed to mean for people. That part is what felt for me, and like watching Peter look at that little kid and do the hand motion towards him, and Peter do it back to him. It's just like it touched my heart. Like that was the scene that just made me go, yeah, that was the nice cherry on top of it. And I think emotionally this movie's great. Like I said, there are some things that I would have done differently. Like you said, Ridge, Tombstone being involved a little bit more, and Scorpion being a lot more involved, because I think they did a disservice to Matt Gargan and the actor who plays him, just because we've been waiting since the after credit scene of Homecoming for Scorpion to be involved in a movie, and he gets this little of screen time. I think that's the L, probably the biggest L of the movie. Um, but other than that, I'm not putting it above Spider-Man 1 and 2, like the Tobey Maguire ones, and I'm not putting it above No Way Home. Um, and I'm back and forth on if I would put it above the Spider-Verse movies. I at least don't think I'd put it above both of them. At least one of them is over it, and it's hard to choose because I like them both. But I at least put it in my top 6 Spider-Man movies. Though emotion wise, it's the second best, because I feel like the emotion wise second one, No Way Home's the best one. But overall, I think it's at least top 6, probably top 5. I still think it was good, though things could have been better. I still think it was great. So that's my take.
Let's throw out one more thing that I thought got nerfed.
What's that?
And maybe it's just me and I need to watch it for a third time. The whole ordeal with the giant safe.
Oh yeah,
Only being a room that had sleeping darts in it.
yeah, that was a little weird. Especially for damage control, they just had sleeping darts. That
And
was
a person in a desk.
yeah. So more than likely, it was more like a safe room than a vault. But
Right, but I mean, why would you have it protected by security
right, I don't know.
only for it to be those darts in there?
I just think the whole killer, another killer of the movie, is having Jean be the villain, like up until the very end, and not having her be like bad at first, then changing her to a good guy. But like I said, I think the whole, like, us getting her introduction being, you know, damage control took her sister, whole hope of thing, and she's trying to find her sister, I just wish they would have let Gene's introduction be, like you said, an after credit scene for the movie, and it could have been a somewhat of a flat. We wouldn't know until we saw the scene, but like a flashback, and we could just see a little girl sitting in her living room or something like that, and you see the wheelchair pull up. You don't see the guy, but you just see the wheelchair, and you hear, "Hello, Gene." Like that
Maybe, but I mean, even then, that wouldn't have made sense for the movie.
just the after credit scene though. That's like post
I know,
credit.
but still, that wouldn't have made sense in that.
Well, I mean, think about when the post credit scene for Captain America and the Winter Soldier was Wanda and Pietro.
I don't freaking remember that, dude. That's been years ago since I've watched that.
Like there's been a bunch of like the mid credit scene could have been what we got as the post credit scene. The whole
You're
wayfinder,
right.
finding them out in space, different universe Peter, right?
Yeah.
Then that post credit scene could have been that because or it could have been something that also lead into Doomsday and or Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And
Now,
instead of it saying Spider-Man could return, it could have said Spider-Man will return in Doomsday or Secret Wars and or whatever.
now, I will throw this out for Spider-Man or the fifth Spider-Man movie. I think the character of Scorpion is going to get his redemption in that movie.
Yeah, you think we'll get the symbiote Scorpion?
I think, well, I don't necessarily even think that he's going to be Scorpion with the symbiote. I think he's just going to be Venom.
Oh, Matt Gargan just as Venom.
Yep. Because I think that what it ends up being is that he doesn't have anybody to work for
Yeah.
unless they somehow set up that, by miracle Fisk is back, which I don't see that necessarily because I think that they would have set that up in a movie by now.
Right.
But since he's lost his,
I've seen recent things where they said that they could possibly see Fisk showing up at some point, but
even then, if he does, I think
it
it'd be the sixth movie.
we're talking about like after Secret Wars, so
Right. Well, I mean, even the fifth Spider-Man movie, that's after Secret Wars.
right.
But I think, though, that he won't have the technology or have the means to get his technology back for his tail.
Right.
So he takes the next best thing, and that's going to be the symbiote.
Yeah. I do think whether it's I think in the next Spider-Man movie, we'll at least start getting at least an introduction and or of a discussion of Miles.
I think that will be either at the end of Spider-Man 5 or that'll be in Spider-Man 6.
Well, the thing is that Tom Holland has openly said that he wants to be the RDJ to the guy whoever's going to play Miles that RDJ did for him.
Right.
And though we already know that they're working on Spider-Man 5 and like they're at least already discussing it, it's also we got to think how much longer do we actually think Tom Holland will play Peter? And I know
we know he's got at least till a sixth movie.
Right. And that's why I said they could possibly introduce Miles in 5 to, introduce him. And we could get, it's kind of like how they did with the games. Like we could get like the introduction of Miles in that movie. Then Miles could get his own like spin-off show or something like that. Then lead into their last movie together and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's possible. Or honestly, I know it's depending on how or what'll happen in across the next Spider-Verse movie, because I know that's what they're waiting on or waiting after to introduce Miles, because they don't want to contradict it. Um, I am kind of concerned. Not really concerned. I'm just curious on how that's going to play out, because in Across the Spider Verse we saw Donald Glover's Prowler in that cell, and as we know, Donald Glover is the Prowler in the MCU, or at least he's Aaron Davis in the MCU, and he mentioned Miles in Homecoming. So I wonder if if Spider-Man 5 or 6 or whatever will include Aaron Davis. So, but yeah, that's all I've got to say on it.
We ready for the next topic?
Yeah, I am. How about y'all?
Yep. Waiting on you.
All right. So next topic. So, girls, guys, and theys and thems, we've got some X-Men news, and we're going to discuss the people who have been confirmed so far and the people who are either highly rumored or maybe confirmed. We just don't know yet, and we probably won't know till this coming up weekend. So, to start off, we know Sadie Sink's playing Jean Grey. We know that, confirmed, official. We also know that Samara Weaving is playing Emma Frost. W casting, great casting. Love Samara Weaving. She plays the part well. And we also got Kit Connors confirmed to be Cyclops. What do you guys think about these castings so far? Rich, I'll let you go first.
Go ahead.
I'll go Caleb. Yeah, go ahead. Caleb? Rich, just go ahead.
Have we lost Caleb?
No,
I think we lost.
He's still in the court. He's still in the court. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, I think so far so good. I mean, for Kit Connor, first off, what a name to have. Like, your name sounds like a name that's in a comic book for a superhero.
Yeah.
Or am I the only one that thinks that?
No.
So I do. So far, so good. Obviously with Kit, I think he's going to have to buff up a little bit, which I'm sure he'll get thrown on the MCU diet and workout routine, whatever that consists of, to get him bulked up a little bit more. But to me, that's my only thought so far is on head scratching is what's he going to look like once you put him in costume. The other two, without costume, looks exactly spot on. Yep, I agree. I like it. Connor, on the other hand, it's
Here's the thing, dude. You gotta look him up more, because let me tell you, this guy is ripped. Here's the thing. You're right. He does need to slim down a little, because he is bulky a little bit. But the thing is he's jacked. Like, he's not he's ripped. He's got six pack and all. It's just he just needs to be a smidge more lean. That's
maybe that's the issue. Is maybe he needs to be a little bit more on the lenient side.
Yeah.
Either way, he'll be on whatever the MCU has. Caleb just went out for some reason, so
he said
just figured I'd let you know.
He said his Discord's messing up.
Gotcha. Anyways, back to the topic. Either way, he'll be on the MCU diet / workout routine, and they'll have him looking the part within no time, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Well, okay.
All right, Caleb. What you missed is we're talking about the confirmed X-Men casting so far. We got Sadie Sink as Jean Grey.
Yep.
We got Samara Weaving as Emma Frost.
Hmm.
and we got Kit Connor as Cyclops. And we're both saying that these are great castings. We just say that Kit Connor will probably need to lean down a little bit. I mean, he's already jacked and ripped. It's just it needs to probably be being a little bit more lean.
Yeah, because I see what you mean.
But even if he does it, if he keeps the same body type, I still think he could pull it off. At least if the
I think it
suit
just depends on what the
the
suit
suit
does.
yeah the
Yeah.
suit looks like.
Well,
Either way,
hopefully, comic accurate.
I mean, honestly, with how they're doing James Marsden, and I like that. If they even get something close to that, I'll be happy. And honestly,
Do you think they'll use the same color scheme, or you
well,
think that they'll do a different one?
I was gonna go off and say if they did the suits like the suits that they're wearing in '97 right now, the black and yellow suits, I would be cool with that. The Grant Morrison suits, that's what they're called. I think they'd be cool with that. But with this being the first, I think we can see them having matching suits in the first movie. Just because this is supposed to be like the original team, though they're adding a couple people who weren't part of the original team, I still think there's a possibility that they could be wearing the same. But if not, if they're wearing the different suits, I hope they do somewhat close to that. The only thing I hope is they don't give him the overhead thing. Like I want his hair to be out with the visor.
Yeah.
That's my only thing.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Now on to our more rumored, almost confirmed castings. So we do know that Adam Driver is supposed to be a part of it, and
Possibly.
possibly. And if they said if he is, he will be Mr. Sinister or a villain of sorts. I also heard it could be a possibility of it being Sebastian Shaw. Um, but either way, I think he'd be cool Sinister, so I'd like to see that. Um, we also are hearing we're still hearing Odessa Zion as Rogue, but I'm hearing more and more tales and that it's inside it's confirmed, but it's not confirmed to us yet. We don't know yet that Kaylee Spaney will be playing Rogue. If you don't know her, she is from Alien Romulus and Wake Up Dead Man, the Glass Onion, or the Knives Out story, or whatever you want to call it. Great actress. I think she's great. But the only thing is, Rich will probably say she's a little short. Um,
A little.
like 7 inches shorter than Rogue is supposed to be. But either way, I still think looks wise she'd kill it. And I found out she's from Knoxville, so that's cool too.
Yeah.
Then we also are hearing it's kind of like the same way that we are hearing about Kaylee Spaney being Rogue. We are hearing that Charles Melton will be Hank, and Beast. And I think that's pretty decent casting. I don't think he's terrible at it. I'm excited to see him in a role like that because normally he's playing the arrogant person or something like that. So I'm more excited to see him in a nerdy esque role because Hank is a very smart nerdy guy. And my favorite one so far, because I've called it, and you can go back and look on my fan casting for the X-Men that I made on my personal TikTok. We are hearing speculations, and kind of like the same way with the other twos, that Jamie Lawson will be casted as Storm. And I think that she will be one of the big announcements at D23 this week, even though I think they'll be casting the entire cast. But if you look at the D23 poster, you see Storm on it. So I think that's a good intel. And Black Panther 3 coming out, we've heard it more that they are going to be exploring the love relationship between T'Challa and Storm. So like I said, Jamie Lawson was my pick for Storm from the beginning. I loved her in Sinners. I think she is a phenomenal actress. I think looking at her, seeing her in the white headpiece would be great.
Can I throw something out real quick, Slater?
Yeah.
I think there's two options with her.
Yeah,
Either A, they'll announce her, but only with Black Panther 3 and not with the X Men,
true.
or they don't announce her at all.
You think so?
That I'm just going to throw that out as my wild card idea, just because the fact of I see it more so Storm's going to be mainly introduced in Black Panther 3 instead of being introduced in the X Men.
Well, the thing is like if she's going to be in Black Panther 3, she'll more than likely be in X Men.
Well, X Men's coming first.
Is it really?
From what I've heard, it's going to come out first. It's going to be a first movie, and it's set to possibly come out on May 5th
Okay.
of 2028. So
I mean, I can still get behind that. I can still get behind what you're saying, though.
I see it being more so they're going to focus in on her in Black Panther 3 than they will her being a part of the X-Men team yet.
Then probably her joining the team in the second movie.
Like either second movie or somewhere a little bit further on down the road, just to give more so closer to the split between the two.
Right. So, gentlemen, how are we feeling about these castings so far?
Like it.
Well,
Honey, I can't right now.
Jesus.
I think Driver would be a much better Mr. Sinister
Mhm.
than any other role.
Yeah.
The I'm terrible with names, so I'm just going to go off of the photo. The girl that is shorter than all get out, right beside of him.
Kaylee
The
Stanley.
photo's a little bit hilarious because the photo has her at head level with the rest of everyone. Wherever she's not, she's a lot shorter. She's pretty much 5 foot, 5'1", I think.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing: you can go say that, but watch your Alien Romulus. She's a bad mamma jamma in that movie. So
Okay, that's great. But to me, I think that you should probably aim for these characters to be more so
I mean,
comic accurate.
we could say
Is that fair to
we
say?
could say the same about Wolverine being 4'11", 5'3", whatever he is.
And hopefully they get someone short.
Yeah.
You know, where they eventually do introduce the new Wolverine, if they ever do. That and then the guy to the right.
Like I said, it's intriguing because everything that I've seen Charles Melton in, he's been like the jock or a cocky attitude guy, like you know how he was in Bad Boys 3 and stuff like that.
So I go to Google just to try to see what Beast looks like in human form.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can gather that looks slightly similar is the hair slightly and the jawline.
Right.
Other than that, that's about it.
Like
Maybe if you smack some glasses on him, and maybe if, who knows, he has hairier arms,
but
then sure, I'll see it. But, you know, it depends on wherever we get to the movie
honestly
on how they actually have him look.
I think another reason why he is a decent casting, one, like I said, it's unusual to see him in a role like this, but two, he's a pretty built guy, and like I hope they do kind of like what they did for Kelsey Grammer in X3, and what they kind of did for the Thing, where he's like partially practical and not mostly CGI, you know.
Yeah, and I think that they will. And we already talked about Storm, and yeah, it's a good cast for Storm.
And like I'm not taking shots at Nicholas Holt's Beast. I just hope they don't. I hope they make his face look better than they did Nicholas Holt's Beast, because I feel like Nicholas Holt's Beast's face was a little wonky in my opinion. I mean he was great. Don't get me wrong, I loved him, but I think the way Beast looked in X3 was the best looking Beast we've had so far. Like I thought he looked great in that movie. Um, I mean, I'm sure he'll look great in Doomsday. And he looked cool at the in the after credit scene of the Marvels. But we'll have to see what they do. We'll have to see.
How confident are we feeling on them actually saying whether or not Adam Driver is going to play a villain in X Men? If they decide to announce this movie and announce the cast at D23, how confident are we in
I say
we're
it's
getting it?
out of 10. I think it's a possible, like a good 7 out of 10. We'll get it. Like I'm almost sure they'll do it since it's been one of the earliest rumors of the casting so far. Um, and I think just to let people know, hey, this is who they're going against or whatever. Um, so I give it a good 70% chance.
I'm 50-50 on it.
All right, respectable, respectable. Caleb, what are you thinking?
I like the casting. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do. I do agree with you about Beast. They should probably as long as I feel as long as they don't do too much CGI. Like they've there's been I mean it's been proven that CGI isn't exactly the be all fix all thing. So
What do you think is the possibility that at D23 this coming weekend that they'll show
that
Adam
they'll
Driver?
reveal.
Adam Driver, yeah.
Uh, I mean. That depends. I think I really honestly that's a 50-50 toss up depending on what if they really want to reveal him that early.
All right. And I got to ask y'all one more question before we get into the last segment. Well, I got two things. My second thing is I brought up, we talked about Michael Johnston earlier.
Hmm.
I've been hearing that Michael Johnston's being looked at for X-Men, and I think that he would be the perfect Iceman. I think he would be really cool as Iceman. Just thought about this as another thing. Also heard that one of the guys that almost got the role of Cyclops, Asa something, if you don't remember the face, he was the son of the killer in Scream 7, the blonde kid, the creepy kid who knew about
Oh,
Ghostface. He apparently he was being looked at to be Cyclops and almost got the role before Kit Connors, but Kit Connors pulled it out. But I also heard that they're still interested in bringing him in. I think he'd be a great Angel, and Angel is one of the original members of the X-Men team, so I could see that. Um, my last question though is if Kaylee Spaney's playing Rogue, who or do y'all think that will get Gambit in this first movie?
mm.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think they'll hold Gambit off.
Okay, okay.
They might have to.
See, I think that it would be a cool idea for Gambit to be somebody that they possibly meet in the movie, but he's not an official member of the team until like the ending or like an after credit scene. Because Gambit is a thief. He has a guild. He leaves the guild to join the X-Men. Um, I think that'd be a good thing, and it's hard to say who else I'd want to play as Gambit, but I still think it's going to be Austin Butler. I mean, Austin Butler, I think, has the fit for Gambit. Athletic wise, face wise, hair wise. We know he can do accents. I just think he'd be the perfect choice for Gambit. And y'all know Gambit's my favorite. So, but that's it for X-Men so far. I'm sure next week, whenever we get this official hearing, if we get an official announcement, we'll be talking about it. Of course, we have a whole lot of D23 next week to talk about. Y'all ready for this last segment?
Indeed.
Yep.
All right, so we've been holding this off for a couple of weeks, I feel like. We didn't talk about it last episode because we were getting deep into things, and we already are deep, but we're going to get into it this time. So, Ridge, hit us up, brother.
Yeah, I feel like it's been more so like, well, it's been at least a month, if not more, that we've thrown this idea out of that we are going to get into the first little plot leak for Secret Wars. This came out a little while back. I found this via Cosmic Wonder. So if you want to go listen to that instead of hearing me talk about it, you can. It's going to be a lot of me reading, like it was for whenever we was going over Doomsday. And if you don't want spoilers, we appreciate you listening.
Yep.
And I'd go ahead and click out now because this is the last thing that we're going to be talking about tonight.
And take this with a grain of salt. Things could change. This could not be the
Very much grain of salt because this is the first plot leak and this is not anything set in stone.
Right.
Alright, here we go. So, a year has passed since Battleworld has formed by Doom. Most of the residents have no idea about the old world, with only a few exceptions. Everyone on Battleworld whose nature is medieval and feudal believes it has always existed. Their past lives have been rewritten into roles as barons, rulers, citizens, domains, etc. So, pretty much, if you remember the leaked photos or leaked art concepts of it, it's all going to look medieval, pretty much. However, all three Spidermen remember the old world, as do Namor, the Young Avengers, Vision, She-Hulk, Deadpool, Sadie Sink's Jean Grey, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Reed Richards, and Sentry. They form a resistance. Oh, excuse me. Did I say Deadpool in that?
No.
No, but it makes
Okay,
sense.
well, Deadpool's one of them.
Yeah,
Sorry, I missed that. So Deadpool is also one of them that remembers the old world. They formed a resistance after realizing that Doom is not just a ruler.
Right.
He is the engine of reality itself. Battleworld exists because Doom is actively maintaining it using Loki's stolen powers. They break into Battleworld's domains. They split up and travel through the different domains, each acting as a broken patch of the old universe. Good grief, if I can read. They search for weaknesses in Doom's structure, recruit allies who are beginning to glitch or regaining their memories or questioning reality. Doom commands an army of Thors with Doctor Strange as his second in command. He also has the Coven of Witches and, of course, the Loki's stolen powers. Yelena serves as third in command, though she has no powers. Sentry is taken and is held captive under lock and key. Another key figure Doom keeps is Steve Rogers, the only person whose memory is deliberately preserved. Doom hates Steve and wants him to witness his victory, to see that Doom has won and built a new family while Steve has lost everything. So far, so brutal.
Yeah.
Instead of directly attacking Doom, the Resistance focuses on turning his forces against him. She-Hulk gathers the Hulks, Deadpool manages to restore Thor's memories, and the Young Avengers unite the mutant population Uh, Tom Holland Spider-Man rallies New York. Reed Richards gathers the remaining members of the Future Foundation. Meanwhile, Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, and Steve Rogers, who escapes Doom's prison with Yelena's help, set out on a mission to find Loki. Since Doom restored everyone, Loki is alive and well, and he is the only one capable of stealing Doom's powers. Let me flip to the next page. Any thoughts so far while I'm doing this?
Nope.
Okay. Loki is found in an Asgardian domain that becomes a casino, a shady, corrupt version of Asgard. They encounter Sylvie, Mobius, OB, and other TVA members working in the casino. Loki is the manager, but he refuses to believe their story and throws them out. At their lowest point, they discover someone unexpected. Tony Stark. He is a miserable drunk, gambling away his life in the casino, and intentionally refuses to join them. Eventually, they convince him, and then they convince Loki as well. I'm going to stop right there real quick because I need to catch my breath, and also because it's cool that we're getting a Tony Stark that is closer to the comic book version of Tony Stark. Yeah. That is a drunk.
Which is also kind of a callback to how he was in the first Iron Man movie. Whenever, he would shoot craps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. That, and in the second one, we see him stumbling around at his own party as a drunk in his Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Alright. Moving on. At the final battle, armies from across the battle world gather to storm Doom's castle. Thor and the Hulks fight against the army of Thors, while Sam leads the resistance against the witches and Doombots and the rest of Doom's forces. Reed Richards, Yelena, Sue, who now remembers everything, Steve Rogers, Hulk, and She-Hulk, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Sentry, Loki, Iron Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, all directly confront Dr. Doom. Doom overwhelms them, defeating them brutally, and they are nearly killed. Reed and Sue try to reason with him, telling him that he is grieving for his family and that Battleworld is not the answer. He is briefly convinced, but ultimately rejects and attacks them again. Oh, crud. I made it small. Sorry, I'm having complications. Son of a biscuit. This is what happens whenever you have to read off of small text and trying to zoom in and it's not wanting to zoom.
iPhone SE problems.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, they are saved at the last moment by Tobey Maguire, Hugh and Tony, who managed to hold Doom off long enough for Loki to reclaim the stolen power and restore the multiverse. Everything returns to normal. Loki returns to his throne, but not before saying a final goodbye to Thor and his TVA friends. Everyone is sent back to their original universes. Yes, Deadpool, Wolverine, the X-Men, and Fantastic Four return to their own realities and do not join the MCU. What this means for the future is unclear. The MCU continues as it was before. The TVA later gets Steve, Peggy, and their son, who is alive again in a new universe, one where they existed but died, preventing any incursions from occurring again. Before leaving, Steve asks the TVA for one last favor. Years later, an older Steve Rogers is visited by the TVA. They bring him back to 616 at the end of Endgame, so he can pass the shield off to Sam.
That's cool.
After saying their final goodbyes to Sam and after saying his final goodbyes to Sam and Bucky, he returns with the TVA to the reality where Peggy and his son live.
That's cool. That'd be cool.
So there's not a whole lot of detail to go off of, but at the same time there is enough.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it sounds about right so far.
So far, so good. The only character that it makes no mention of is Scar,
Yeah.
which we see in the leaked concept art that was thrown out there.
Well, when you mentioned the Hulks, I imagine Scar being a part of that.
I imagine that means Scar. That probably also means, uh, Thaddeus and probably Abomination too, maybe.
Yeah. Honestly, it would be fire. Hear me out.
What?
What if we got all 3 versions of live action Hulk?
I'm not going to hold my breath on that.
I mean, I highly doubt it. But, like, wouldn't it be cool if we got... I mean, well, I wouldn't say all 3 because it wouldn't make sense for Ed Norton's to be there. But, like...
Ed Norton is technically the MCU Bruce Banner.
Yeah, that's why I said... Let me take that back. My bad. But it'd be cool if we got, like, Ang Lee's Hulk.
It would be interesting, to say the least.
Just for nostalgia bait. And honestly, and somehow if they incorporate Ghost Rider, I'd be cool with that too. But
and I imagine that they will.
Yeah.
In the final battle, I think it's going to be cool seeing the
Johnny Cage. Not Johnny Cage, Johnny Blaze. I'm just thinking Nicolas Cage.
I think it would be cool though. One of the things was the army of Thors, which I'm hoping that means that they're also bringing in Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, and Throg.
Yep.
Because we've seen Throg in like in a passing camera in the first season of Loki. He was in a jar underground.
Now, my only concern with this too, though, is what does that mean as far as like, are we going to be bouncing between universes for the X-Men and Fantastic Four sequels?
Well, here's the thing: is I don't think that we're getting a whole new X-Men team, so I think this will be the last time we see this version of the X-Men.
Okay, but what about the Fantastic Four?
That I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know if that'll entirely happen. I think that's one of the things that wouldn't make sense if they didn't continue to bring him into MCU. But who knows? I just don't think that they should do it that way. Yeah, that's all I really have to say on that.
Yeah.
But to me, it would make sense.
It's a good concept.
It would make sense if this is the last time we saw Deadpool and that versions of the X-Men, because I think Ryan Reynolds getting to the point where Deadpool's probably going to be done for a good bit.
I think he's working on a 4th Deadpool movie though.
Oh, is
he? He's trying to.
Yeah.
I think he wants it done. I think he's trying to get that done because he wants to get that story kind of finished up.
Well, either way, I have a feeling his time as Deadpool will be coming to a close at some point.
That and also from what I've heard, we're getting Hugh Jackman's Wolverine for a good little while too. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see on that one. I did hear the possibility of X-23 returning. Daphne Keen's X-23. So I'm sure that'll play a part in if it could be Secret Wars, it could be the Deadpool 4. It could be Young Avengers, honestly. Um, we'll have to see on that. All right. So we got anything else to say tonight, boys?
I am out of words now.
I was just gonna say Hugh Jackman's gonna be doing it till he's 90.
Till he's 90. All right, everybody. Like we always say, we appreciate you if you made it this far. If you listen to us later, we thank you for listening this much. Like, subscribe, comment, grab your next kid's phone, comment. They don't even have to know. They don't even have to watch. At least they're subscribed. Um, do remember we have an event coming up next month, September the 19th. It'll be a Saturday, and we will be at Scream Chambers kickoff event for the year, and we'll be there for the entire day. So come out, chill with us, see us, go through the haunt, get you some good food, get you some good snacks. You know, and enjoy a good spooky season as we are officially entering the best time of the year. Um, anything else for y'all to say tonight? All right, no, all right. All right, everybody. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. Peace.